September 8th meeting of the Lock Haven City Council will rise from over the silence followed by the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councilmember Alexander. Here. Councilmember Brand. Here. Councilmember Brinker.
Here.
Councilmember Conklin.
Here.
Councilmember Missouri. Here. Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes, here.
Mayor Long.
Here.
Approval of the minutes from the August 18th regular meeting.
And then approval.
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Questions or comments on the motion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander. Yes. Councilmember Brand. Yes. Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Public comments and requests. Comments from residents and city taxpayers.
Back again, Niles Manzoris, about a remote road. This is just my thoughts and safety.
Thank you. Be careful. Watch the arm.
I'll give you a copy there, Eric, as soon as I finish. Oh, you got it. Thank you. Basically, just to bring up to date where we are, it's been 2 years, almost 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years, since we started the process on the through the fence. It's been costly for the city. Number one, if, in the beginning, if the city offered the guidelines that the FAA has out there and charged, the tie down fee, it would have received over $15,000 up to this point so far. So they had $15,000 loss of revenue so far. Also, there was a cost to the temporary fencing that didn't work out real well. And also, it lost the goodwill of the tenants in the airport. And, for example, Carl Williamson, myself, Lee Gilbert, we used to mow the whole north side of the airport, which took hours and hours. And now the city we stopped doing that. Now the city was doing that. They had the secretary over there mowing because they needed help and stuff like that. So that was actually a cost to the airport. As of right now, it doesn't seem like we're any farther ahead than when we started. In fact, I can see this dragging on even into next summer if we don't actively do something. Carl and Craig, another month, they head to Florida, so they really don't care if they're locked out, and we're abiding by the no trespassing signs now. Yeah, and Bob Larson, he said he doesn't, he's ready to retire. He really doesn't need access right now. In my opinion, Mr. Wilson's management style, which we have not had any head-to-head negotiations, and he has a policy of it's my way or the highway, he stated, just hasn't been working out well. But I'd like to, and I'm not just complaining, one of the solutions that we came up with, I'd like to see if the city and the group could retain an independent professional arbitrator. I've already talked to all the hangar owners, and everybody's on board as far as the hangar owners, that they would participate and honor an arbitrator's decision on the fact.
Who would be paying for that?
Well, we'd have to look into that. I don't know. I know there's some retired judges in the area and stuff like that do some arbitrations, but, we'd have to.
So it was my understanding the last time you were here that we were moving forward and that we had a resolution. And now you're telling me there is no resolution. Where are we?
They have the agreements that doesn't suit them.
Why doesn't the agreement suit you? Were you not in the same phone call that was provided that the FFA or FAA came and had discussions with everyone and said, this is what needs to happen? Were you part of those phone calls?
Yes, I was, and the FAA's stance on the whole thing is they require an agreement.
Okay, and you have an
And-
agreement.
But on the agreement, they don't determine the cost, the city does. The city can charge what they want. They have guidelines in that.
Okay, so
So-
if you call another airport, Williamsport, wherever, what are their fees?
Oh, all under $100.
Because like, this is every single meeting.
Yes,
So I'm
absolutely.
with you, like, this needs to end. So where is the end?
The end is, what I see, I'm trying to find a solution. We obviously have not come to a solution so far. I have not to have a face-to-face, so,
I personally don't think that the city should be paying a arbitrator because you guys can't come to an agreement. What do you want to see happen? What is a fair fee?
the guidelines, what I'd like to see, and there are different formulas. But the formula that I'd like to see is the FAA guidelines, what they have published and we've offered, and it was be based on the tie down fees. The FAA's,
Because the
Stand-
airport is, not making us any money.
that's true.
So I'm trying to just figure out how we can sustain an airport that isn't making any money and only is benefiting a very small group of people in our community.
Okay, that's not necessarily true. The airport benefits the community.
Okay,
And
I don't use the
we're
airport.
looking at, there's a different thing, there's commercial operations and stuff. I myself, I have an antique airplane that I flew 12 hours last year. And if you take that, the fee that they would like, it would be almost $3,000 a year. And then the $1,500 I had to spend to get insurance for the city, on top of all the other costs. That means every time I fly my little airplane, it's gonna cost me over $500 to do that.
Okay, but
And so that's why-
we do not gain any money. When we look at the budget year after year, and I've been here now for 2 years, I've looked at the budget for 3 years. The airport is always in the negative.
Mhm.
So we need to be in the negative so you can fly your airplane. So we as the city have to say to our constituents, sorry, we have to pay for this airport for the few people that it benefits.
Okay, you're talking about the few people that have the hangar on the airport. But a lot of people use the airport. There's a lot of activity at the airport. The museum, I
Which is
forget what this-
ran by the museum organization, correct? The city does not run the museum, am I correct?
That's correct, but no, I'm reading, it had over, and I forget the statistic, but somewhere around 3,000 guests came in and used the airport to visit the museum. That brought people into the city, that brought activity. There is a positive economic impact that an airport has on a city. It's not just a place that some people can have recreational flying. The airport is used by DCNR, it's used for the spraying. There's a lot of activity that goes on in the airport. And I'm not here to just defend the airport. I'm just saying.
I don't think you're trying to be argumentative either. I'm just trying, this is week after week after week. This is meeting after meeting after meeting. And there has to be some end in sight for this.
This is the.
That
next
is approved
suggestion I have.
I was just gonna say, I think we have to clarify a couple of points, Niles, and I'm sorry. When you say tenant at the airport, you folks that own property adjacent to the airport are not tenants of the airport.
Okay, well.
You are property owners, you own property in Castania Township. You pay taxes to Castania Township. When you operated your business privilege taxes went to Castania Township. You are under, in no way, shape, or form, a tenant of the airport. The people who rent.
I'm a customer here, for let's say.
You don't pay for the services, so don't imply that you utilize the airport for free. And you all have known for 20+ years that you were to be paying through the fence agreement. So to say that this is a 2-year-old argument is very misleading. It's a 22-year-old argument. Rich Marson Cabbage had this argument with the same group of people some years back. Carl Williamson couldn't remember why we stopped having those meetings. I'll tell you why you stopped having those meetings. Because Rich put his foot down about the fee and then everybody balked about it and then we decided not to talk about it anymore. You asked us to please allow a joint authority to take over the day-to-day operations of the airport. We formed a committee. We've been working with the county. We are inches away from having the county join with us and move forward with having a joint authority run the airport and making it a county and city joint effort. Those efforts require us to either A, lock you out of the airport, or B, have you sign the agreement that has been given to you. If you have chosen not to sign that agreement, you are going to be locked off the airport, which you have been. We are getting new fencing. We are getting bids on the new fencing. The agreement that you have is the agreement that you have. The price, you guys don't like it. I'm sorry that you don't like the price, but that's the price. That's the agreement. And it's not Mr. Wilson, who's the big horrible person in all of this. It is us. We have directed him, and I'm perfectly comfortable saying we have done everything that has been asked of us. We have gone to the county. We have got an agreement with the county that we are trying to get solidified. And we have gone to the FAA. We included you all on the conversations. We have done everything that's been asked of us. We're not having, I will have no part of having an arbitrator. I feel like this has been arbitrated, this has been argued, and this has been gone round and round. I agree with Heather. We've given you the agreement. It's the price is what it is. That's it. That's how I feel about it. I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't feel as if there's been any negotiation whatsoever. The price was just set. And just to correct what you're saying I knew this for 20 years. First I had ever heard about a through the fence agreement was when they started talking about the airport authority, and that's where it first came up with the authority. Other than that, that's the first I'd ever.
So you missed out on those at the beginning. 20+ years ago, that conversation was had with the
Okay,
people.
well, I wasn't here 20 years.
Well, I'm sorry that you weren't in on that, but the group that's down at the airport, some of the other folks that you're dealing with all this have known very clearly, this is something that we should have been doing. And if we'd have been getting through the fence agreement all these years, we wouldn't even probably be having this conversation. The airport's $150,000 in the hole. And if we'd have been being paid and through the fence payment all these years, we wouldn't be in the red. And that's that.
And do not degrade city leadership again in this meeting. I don't want to hear it ever again. So don't come here and open your comments by degrading city leadership. All right?
What did I say degraded you?
You said that it was his way or the highway. That was one of your two comments. And you made another comment in addition to that. And every time you come, you degrade town city leadership. And that's not in any way beneficial to any of the discussions we have.
I've been trying to come up with solutions.
We have a solution. It's been given to you and you don't like it, it's okay. We get it. We appreciate that. You don't like it? I get it.
Yeah, no, as far as I'm concerned, you're gonna spend, I don't know where the bid came in, but originally was $77,000 for a fence.
It's required.
It is not required.
It is
That is
required.
so much not the truth. And everybody has said it's so much.
Well, right, we could go without the fence if everybody agreed to pay their fees ahead of time. Then we wouldn't need a fence.
That's not accurate.
Well, we still have to have a security.
The FAA requires the fence. You were on
Right.
the phone call when that was stated.
How many people were on that phone call? And everyone heard the same thing, that we need the fence.
Yes.
Yes,
Done.
the fence.
Done.
We need a fence. The fence that we have is compliant.
That is not true, Niles, and you know that from the phone call. You were actually asked pointedly, as well as Craig, as well as whoever else was on the phone, Mr. Larson. If the fence is compliant, the Bureau of Aviation would like to know who took down the temporary orange fence so that they could still gain access to the airport through the taxiway. That question was asked of you as proof that the airport is not secure, because it was not the city who took down the temporary fence that was put in with compliance from the Bureau and the FAA to stop the traffic from non-compliant people who did not have a signed agreement. That was taken down by someone who benefited from that fence being taken down. The Bureau specifically asked you, who took the fence down then?
I did not.
And no one answered. But you all know who did, and that stopped the airport from being secure. You, or whoever benefited, is who made the airport non-compliant and proved to the FAA and Bureau that you cannot be trusted with policing the regular safety of the airport. That is why the fence will go in. You were told that specifically by the FAA. You were told that specifically by the Bureau of Aviation. You were given an opportunity to tell the Bureau point blank who took it down. None of you stated who did.
I don't know who took portion down. The fence that was taken down, mine did operate, was taken down by the Lock Haven Police, or dictated by the Lock Haven Police, and it was taken down by the city workers.
The majority of the fence, not the part that went across the
I have no
taxiway.
idea what happened to that, but
That's all good and well, but that again shows no one knows who took down the temporary fence. Thus, the fence that was up there was not secure. The airport was directed by the FAA in the phone call you participated in, that the airport must own the fence. Your fence is not owned by the city. The fence between Larson, where he leaves his gates open all day, is not owned by the city. The city must own its own fence, which the FAA is paying for. The Bureau of Aviation is also paying for it. That's your tax dollars you already paid coming back for the benefit of the residents and the users of the airport, because your federal taxes and state taxes have already been paid, and they're being given back to us as a grant, which is a wonderful thing. And now the airport will be secure as directed by the FAA and BOA.
I don't necessarily agree with what you said, but I'm not gonna drag your whole meeting on with that. I was trying to come up with a positive solution to a stalemate that we have going
So
on.
when.
And I didn't want to get involved in lawsuits, which that's all the discussions of different lawsuits of this, that, and everything, and I don't want to get involved in that. And that's why I keep trying to come up with a positive step
Okay.
forward.
You've now mentioned lawsuit, and that ends the conversation, because we can't continue to discuss it if that's being brought up, because we don't want any words that are said here be used. I've heard from 3 people now on council who are very adamant that they have no interest in discussing arbitration. The other 3.
I will be the fourth to say that I'm adamant and.
That's the
not
majority.
discussing
I don't have any, Steve, you,
Now, if we pay, is it the cost of the arbitrator that you're afraid of? If we,
no,
if we had.
Niles, you're missing the point. Okay, all right. It's very clear that council as a whole, right here, I'm looking at the entire council, no one, they feel that the agreement that was given to you is the option. And in fact, I'll be honest with you, Niles, when we sat here the last time, I thought we had it all done, because we said, here you are, you got the agreement. If you get things worked out before, and sign the agreement, you'll have access. If not, you won't. That was the end of it. But obviously, if you're not seeing that council was saying that's what it is, I don't know what else to tell you. Even if I, as the mayor, said, I agree with you, it doesn't matter. There's 6 people here saying, no.
I just think a lot of it is misrepresented, and that you're missing the point on what is acceptable using the guidelines and what's fair and what other airports do. I just don't think that, the agreement is in line with that. So. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any other comments from taxpayers and city residents? Okay. Requests, VFW Post 1630 use of streets on October 4th for Memorial Run.
There was a letter presented to council, but there is an update, after speaking with the organizer. The VFW will be holding the anniversary battle of Mogadishu's Memorial Run on October 4th, 2025. They're requesting, the following route, which on the back of that page is the route. They will be leaving the VFW Post 1630 and use East Water Street to Memorial Park, where then they will use the levee for 2 miles. They'll have a volunteer at the end, turn them around. They'll go down to Veterans Park for a small ceremony and then return back to the levee and end the race at Memorial. They have done this race in years past, but for safety concerns, they would like to switch to the levee because it used to do the route that was listed in your letter, but for safety of residents and participants.
Is there anything going on at the airport that you remember we ran into that issue about them doing it and then they were doing the pancake
This
thing?
is, they changed the route entire, like it's on the levee. It'll be
All right,
just,
so there won't be any blockage to people getting in if there's something going on.
and they'll have like traffic controllers for crossing the street to get onto the levee.
I like that there's something at Veterans Park. I think.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Just like that all be done.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I will check it.
Motion floor second. Any comment or questions on the motion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 4C, the update on people.
This was emailed to last week, in addition to being in the packet, is the route that was requested from People and Helping People Trail Race.
Any questions on that? Okay. We have any other requests? Unfinished business 5A. Consideration of ordinance number 2025-08.
This is your second reading with alterations that were provided to council of the Ross Library bylaws, and the chairman of the board of the Ross Library Trustees is here if you have any questions.
Anything to add, sir?
Exactly the 2 words that we discussed last time. Besides that, everything stayed the same.
Do I have a motion?
I move approval.
I will second.
Motion floor is second. Questions or comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
No.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 5B, consideration of the request from Tangent for amendment of the solar TPA agreement.
The original solar TPA agreement, which is the solar field to be built down off of Bald Eagle Street, near the very end of that, before you leave the city limits. The original agreement was for a set rate of 0.0555 per kilowatt hour that would not be adjusted during the 25 years of operation. And because of the cost increase, that was also tethered to a buyout amount. So Tangent is requesting council to either choose to amend the kilowatt hours and the buyout amount by retaining the current set fixed rate of 0.0555 per kilowatt hour and seeing the adjustment which is enclosed that takes the 25-year buyout at $2.1 million, or to change the kilowatt hours in two other options. Currently, the city pays 0.08764 per kilowatt hours, and that's using Constellation through the Pennsylvania Municipal Leagues program. And the wastewater is a little different because it's on a shorter term at 0.08450. So the 0.0555 is significantly lower than what is currently being paid, which is why council had gone with the set rate to begin with. It was not at the time that this was originally negotiated, something that council even considered buying out at any point during the process. If that sentiment has changed, then you would have great concern over the escalation in price for the buyout. But my recommendation to you is to go with the first option, which is to retain the 0.0555 per kilowatt hour and let them adjust the buyout option rather than adjust to an inflation escalator, which is included in the other option.
Yes, what is our current rate for those two?
0.08764.
Okay. I wasn't in favor of the buyout option originally, and I'd like us to consider staying with the 0.0555 without worrying about the buyout, because the lower cost rate will save us a lot of money in the long run.
Yeah. Is that a motion?
So
I'll second.
Motion floor, a second. Questions or comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 5C, consideration of the easement with tangent for electric connectivity.
So the electric from the solar field needs to connect to the nearest meter that is currently owned by the city, and that is a maintenance garage near the South Key hangars. And in order to accomplish that, tangent needs to run a line underground from the solar field over to that garage. I included with council's packet the phase 1 and phase 2 studies that were done of archaeological significance in the area that is called the business park. And there are particular suggestions that are made in both phase 1 and phase 2. So my recommendation to council would be to approve the easement, provided that the statements on restrictions or inhibition or any recommendation, I guess is what I'm saying, that's in phase 1 or phase 2 be incorporated into the easement to ensure that the easement is actually installed in a way, the installation takes place in a way that's compliant with the phase 1 and phase 2 archaeological studies.
Anyone want to make that motion?
I'll move the easement as recommended and let's see the restrictions as recommended.
I will second.
Motion floor and a second. Questions or comments on the motion?
I just have a question to clarify, only because I can't tell what's what here.
That's all up close. So it's existing building.
Those aren't city
They're
buildings.
not our
All right. But what are the buildings that are in the gray at the end? Is that the other hangar, the hangars that are off? Okay.
No, the one that's gray that you can see if you were to continue Bald Eagle Street and not go, it's a loop at the end, but
Right.
continue straight out. That's the little trailer that the fly-in uses,
Okay, all right,
and then across the street is Netzel.
all right. I just wondered, I wanted to get my bearings about where I was. I could see the loop there and I was thinking, boy, that looks like a long way down to the loop, but okay, I get it.
Sorry, across the street in this particular image is the Casaneo Farm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I see where I am now. That's all I wanted to know.
I know it's cheaper to do a straight line from the solar to the building, but our property line seems to go to the south.
It is to the south.
It would it, well, if they would run into anything in phase 1 or 2 of the,
Yeah, they'll have to
Of
make
the
adjustments
plan,
if they run.
they
into
could add some room, because I'm not sure that was included, or if that was on the outskirts of what the survey of plan of 1 and 2 was, if it went that wide. So they might be safer to go wider, even though it might cost a few bucks more. It'd be just to get out there, the same length would be the same, and then come back would be a cost. The motion was to run it if it doesn't interfere with site plans. Yeah. At least they have possible some adjustment.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So
No, you're good. You're fine. All right, call for the vote?
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 5D, notice from the PA opioid trust regarding 2025 distributions.
I would love to find that piece of paper, which I seem to have misplaced. There it is. Okay, at present, the estimated receipt for the city for 2025 will be $13,029.15. At the end of the year is usually when this actually comes in December. I hate to say it's close to December 31st, as the state can get it, but that seems to be the way. And then that will be among the topics of discussion at next week as well, for how council wants to handle future distributions of the opioid settlement.
Any questions on that?
Next week or next week?
Next meeting, the 22nd.
Any other questions? Do we have any other unfinished business?
I have none, Your Honor.
Okay, new business, 6A, consideration of resolution number 2025-33.
This is our winter maintenance agreement that we make with PennDOT. In this particular case, this is not exactly a renewal. We have made some changes to the traditional routes that the city has done. Included in what the city has removed from the agreement is North Fairview Street, Susquehanna Avenue, and Hill. And the city is retaining Water Street, the portion that we traditionally have done, Bellefonte Avenue, Church Street, and Main Street. The reason for the reduction in coverage that the city will provide for PennDOT is that, having done the calculation, PennDOT's reimbursement has not kept up with the city's inflationary costs. And so we have reduced the number of roads. It was basically taken down to a discussion on what is the city most likely to be blamed for if it's not plowed to a particular standard. And that, of course, was Bellefonte Avenue being top of that list, Water Street, Church Street.
Do I have a motion?
Can I move approval?
I'll second.
Everybody speak at once. A motion on the floor and a second. Any questions or comments on both?
By reducing those 3 routes off, then of course it reduces the amount of money that we would get anyway back.
By about $7,000.
Yeah, because we're around 21.5 now for the new proposal.
Right, and we were about 28. However, what we had signed did have the caveat that whatever they told us they would pay us, they actually could withhold a portion of that. And so they have withheld that. So what we actually anticipated we would get every year, we actually got slightly less than that every year.
Or are we going to still be in negotiation with them? Because I'm sure when they hear this, they're not going to want to commit a truck manpower and material.
we already had to get
You
their
had-
sign off
Oh,
to
you
get this
had
in front of
the
you.
meeting already.
Yeah.
How they swallow that? Okay.
They're willing
fine.
to amend the ordinance if our position changes in the future. Amend the agreement. But, our
Any
position-
chance of amending it before winter?
No.
Okay.
Any
We'll
other
see how
questions
this winter goes.
or comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yeah.
Councilmember Brinker. Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 6B, carbon credit update.
As council is aware, and many members of the public, the city through Anew is our partner with the Nature Conservancy, and the city makes available for purchase voluntary carbon credits. An inventory of 100 plots is performed by Appalachian Forestry, and that inventory provides a quantity of carbon credits that are available minus any loss for forest activities. Currently, the city has 2,918 credits from 2021 and 10,000 from 2022. These two amounts are being offered as a single opportunity to buy Anew for the international market. The market for voluntary carbon credits has slowed significantly, and Anew has discounted pricing by at least 10%, and has also created purchasing opportunities to move inventory in the market. One of the ways they're doing that is receive the credits now towards your business in the industry, but pay over time. The Nature Conservancy recently performed their annual site visit, and both council member Rick Conklin and Public Works Superintendent Jared Gist were able to attend that outing. Anew intends to have an on-site visit of the working woodlands this October or November as well. So as they continue to market them, when they do sell, council will be notified of the value that the city will receive for the carbon credit sale.
Any questions on that?
Yeah. On the, can't find the page number, summary of results, the second page. Where middle of the page where it says payroll, is that their fee? Is that what they're charging us to manage our carbon credits? And is there any negotiation on that cost?
Where are you?
In the summary of key results, it doesn't have a page number. It's right after disclaimer, right after climate in the news.
Page 3.
It's in the math part, the second page.
It's page 3 and page, no, it's both pages say page 3.
Yeah.
One is police and one is CERT.
Oh,
This
Okay.
is, no, this is a different thing. This is our.
you jumped
Yeah,
ahead.
I'd say you've gone.
I was like,
The two
it
things
looks
don't
like
go
it
together.
goes.
Oh. Boy, it just sort of ran, look how it runs.
Yeah,
Same color.
they look like they go together, but they
Same
don't.
colors.
We do not pay payroll for the carbon.
No. I was gonna say, we should be making money. Sorry. No, you're good. I read too fast.
Any other questions? All right, 6C, 2025 pension fund draft valuations.
The pension fund valuations that you have in front of you. The first one is for the city employees retirement fund. That shows that the actual value is 101%, which is a great position to be in. One thing that truly benefits the plan itself is there are significantly more people who pay into the pension fund than collect from the pension fund. And that, along with the investments, even if the investments do tend to lose some money from now and again, at least there are more people paying in than collecting, which is beneficial. The second one is for the police pension fund. That is currently 103% funded. In that, the opposite is true. There are more people collecting than paying into the fund. So it is actually expending more money than the investments can keep up with. So it is the one that will, right now, in the next discussion, with the minimum municipal obligation it's the one that will require a larger amount to be paid in by the municipality to true up and keep the actuarial estimates. I should also note that the actuary uses a 6% return on investment. That may or may not be considered high as time goes on, so it does get adjusted, but currently what was used in this is a 6%.
Any questions? Okay, 6E, notice of Comcast franchise fee.
I'm gonna jump back just for a moment and say, just so that it's in the minutes, the city in 2026 will be required to pay into the police pension fund $185,948 and into the city employee retirement fund $151,926,000. Both of which will appear in the budget.
Thank you. Okay.
And now on to the Comcast franchise fee. The Comcast franchise fee for this quarter, which was the first quarter of this year, will be $21,412.71, which is very similar to what it was a year ago.
They did just raise everyone's rate, so we should see that go up.
Any other comment? Okay, 6F, home program correspondence.
This is for council's ongoing information. This is the most recent letter back to DCED regarding the audit of the Pennsylvania DCED's audit of the home program monitoring, which took place through CEDACOG and does have an impact potentially on the city.
6G, discussion on cost trends for the 2026 budget.
Gonna speak as quick as I can.
What's that?
I'm gonna speak as quick as I can.
Okay.
You wanna take a breath first?
At the next meeting of City Council, September 22nd, council will begin to review the 2026 proposed budgets. The first budget we'll look at is the water fund. Specifically with the water fund, the rates charged and thus the revenue available to cover expenses is set by the 2025 settlement with the Public Utility Commission. As council examines the budgets, I wanted to bring to light some of the challenges that the city's budgets will face in the 26 fiscal year. Depending on the budget, between 75 and 80% of the expenses of the city are for wages, benefits, and debt service on its loans, as well as insurances. That leaves very little money left over for supplies for the services that the employees provide. Like everyone else, the city will be impacted by inflation. The increase in health insurance costs are estimated to be as much as 20% more than in 2025. Natural gas futures predict a double-digit increase, as does electric. Subject to its own rate increase on commercial and institution water bills, the city's water costs for its own facilities will also increase exponentially. Wages, which are for nearly all employees tied to collective bargaining agreements, will also increase to near the Social Security cost of living increase for 2026, which is currently predicted to increase over 2.5%. Our workers' compensation, as well as our property and liability insurances, are expected to increase about 2.5% as well. Although fortunately through Penn Prime, we do realize some degree of credits against our premium, but likely not enough to offset any increase. Importantly, there is no rainy day fund, no excess of cash sitting in banks to cover the increases we will likely experience in the next year. That being said, I will be working with department heads and the city superintendent's informant to bring you our best estimates on what we will need to properly staff and operate the city for 2026. Because decisions this year may take longer than normal, we will start the process early to ensure that council has ample time to make the best decision in the interest of the residents that you serve.
Questions for the city manager? Okay. All right, we have the FYI reports, home project updates, Sunset Pines updates. Anybody have any information from any of their committees they'd like to bring forward?
Wednesday starts the fall book sale at the library. If you want to hit preview night, it's a lot less busy, so there's less lines and all that fun stuff. Energy Cake sales tickets available at the library. Yep. And other than that, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with Saturday is the $5 bag day. So they have a lot of books, so many books.
Anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned, thank you.